Here are the two must-know information about PSLE 2024. First, how is PSLE AL score calculated? Now, to answer these questions, we first have to understand what are the subjects of PSLE, namely Math, Science, English, and Mother Tongue. For Math, it is going to contain 2 papers, and both of these 2 papers will be given to the students on the same day, meaning there's only 1 day of Math exam. And over here, you can have a look at the item type number of questions, total marks for each paper, and the duration. But I'd like to bring your attention to the total mark, which is going to be 100. Now, for Science, it is going to be very similar to Math, containing 2 booklets, A and B, also being given to the students on the same day. And they add up to a total mark of 100. Now, things are slightly different for the English subject. For English subject, it consists of 3 tests, a written test, listening test, and an oral test. And this OE over here stands for open-ended questions. And these 3 tests are being conducted on different days, meaning there are 3 days of English exam in total. And the total mark for English is going to be 200, the full mark. And this is the same for Chinese, which is 1 subject from a mother tongue. Now, for mother tongue subject, it is also going to consist of 3 tests, a written one, an oral, and a listening test. And they add up to 200. So they're also being tested on 3 different days. So now we have understood the raw marks for each subject. Now let us discuss how I can convert all these raw marks into the corresponding AL score. So, in order to understand how we can convert raw marks to AL score, let's do a quick recap of the full marks of each subject. For Math and Science, 100. For English and Mother Tongue, it's going to be 200. So, it's going to take an extra step to convert them into out of 100. And how do we do this? We simply multiply the marks that we get out of 200 by 50%. Meaning that if I get 180 out of 200, converted into out of 100, then that's basically 90 out of 100. And with that, we can follow this table to translate, to convert all the raw marks into our AL score. If I can get more than 90, including 90, then I will be given AL1 for that particular subject. And if I can get 85 to 89 inclusive, then I will be given AL2. So, from this table, we can know that the highest AL score that a student can get is going to be AL4. Now, what happens if 2 students have the same AL score? How does that come into play for the secondary school posting? Well, it really depends on what are the schools you are choosing. If you are choosing SAP schools, then whenever 2 students have the same AL score, then the school is going to look into your higher mother tongue subjects. For example, for Huazhong, Dunman, all these SAP schools, just for example, they will look into your higher Chinese language, higher Chinese subject. If you can get distinction, then you will come before those getting merit. And for those getting merit will come before those getting pass in their higher Chinese language. And if you are not choosing SAP schools, or you choose SAP schools, but you have the same higher Chinese language mark, then it will have to depend on your citizenship. Singapore citizen come first, followed by permanent residents, and then followed by foreigners. And then after that, it will look into your choice order of schools, whether you have ranked your preferred school higher than another students having the same AL score. And finally, if all this fails, then it's going to go through a computerized balloting, a totally random process to know the outcomes. So here are the 2 must-know information before your PSLE 2024. Now, if you'd like to learn more about PSLE in general, whether it's math and other subjects, feel free to join our PSLE 2024 study group by scanning this QR code. I'm Teacher Cedric, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.